Welcome. Today we're talking with Tricia Zergott. She is the president and CEO of Security Plus Credit Union. Tricia, welcome and thank you for joining us at Credit Union Digest.
Thank you, Larry. I'm thrilled to be here.
Good. All right, so Tricia, coming in as a new CEO, what steps did you take to gain alignment with the board of directors on governance?
Thank you for asking this question. I think it's a really important one. Even before I joined the organization as president CEO, I talked with my board a lot about governance. Obviously governance is incredibly important to any organization, but in particular in an organization in transition like we are, moving from a smaller asset size, we just moved up into the 500 million to a billion asset size. And we really wanted to make sure that we focused on governance and that alignment. So my strategy was really centered on what I would consider the 4 C's. One being clarity, really clarifying roles and responsibilities, clarifying expectations along the way. Communication. Obviously, any strong board CEO relationship is going to be centered on communication, but really understanding, what's enough, what's too much, what expectations does the board have, in terms of the how and the when and the what. And then also culture. We talk a lot about organizational culture in business, but really understanding the culture of the board and how is the board used to working with the CEO. And as we know, when we look at the Gallup definition, culture is all about how things get done around here. And at Security Plus, we use the Carver governance model. And when I looked at the Carver governance model and I looked at our governance model, and then really started to understand how we practice that model, there was some misalignment. And it was a huge opportunity, to learn together. And it all centered on communication. And that 4th C, which I didn't mention yet, it also takes courage. As a new CEO, there's a little bit of time, early in tenure, where it's a little bit of a honeymoon period. So I wanted to make sure that we had the crucial conversations. We were able to build trust through transparency. And that's really what we've done. And I feel even 6 months in, I just celebrated my 6 months as CEO last week. We're just really starting on our governance journey together. And my board is so generous that we're going to go back and we're going to look not only at our governance model and really learn and refresh together, but we're going to make sure that the governance model still works for where we want to take our business in the future.
Great. Thank you, Tricia. I understand you also had the unique opportunity to build a new team when you came in. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking this question. So when I joined Security Plus Federal Credit Union as president CEO, we had a number of vacancies at the executive leadership team level. And when I initially came in, I saw it as a huge opportunity, to build my executive leadership dream team. But that really had to start with strategic listening. And it really had to start with the discovery process. So my first 30 days, I very intentionally focused on one-on-ones with the entire board of directors, one-on-ones with every single leader and manager in the organization, because I had to accelerate my learning. I had to accelerate that discovery. So I knew the condition of the organization before I came in and made any significant changes to the organizational structure. And truth be told, ideally, I would have had at least 6 months to be able to do this. I didn't have that luxury. So I saw it as a gift. So what I really did was I looked, I assessed, and based on where we really wanted to take the business in the future, I reorganized the entire organizational structure, created several new executive leadership positions, and inside of a 3-month period, recruited 5 new executive leadership team members, all at the chief level. And I did this in partnership with an executive recruiter partner. And because we had such a concentrated timeline, we developed an engagement where it was really shared responsibilities, and I had to be very actively engaged. And I didn't want this to just be my team. I wanted this to be our team. So every single interview, virtual or in person, I included our entire executive leadership team in those conversations.
Mhm.
And a big part of that realignment I mentioned before was creating a couple new positions. And one of the positions that I'm really thrilled that we were able to bring on board was the Chief Experience and Impact Officer. I
Okay.
really wanted to center our future strategy on member centricity and everything about the member. But I also wanted to make sure that we intentionalized impact. As
Mhm.
credit unions, everything we do is about mission, everything we do is about people.
Right.
But I feel often we don't intentionalize that at the executive level. So
Mhm.
this new position intentionalizes that for us internally and externally. And then I also created or really redesigned a chief operating officer role and a chief information and technology officer role. So I'm very proud to say that as of August 15th, the new executive leadership team at Security Plus is fully in place. And one of the things I'm most proud of is that through the entire reorganization, we also created a new senior leadership team level. And we did 9 internal promotions of some incredible talent that we have within the organization,
Right.
9 promotions to vice president, which has really created more growth opportunities and more career pathing
Yeah.
for every employee across the organization.
Great, great. Thank you, Tricia. Great plan, bringing in people, creating leadership, internal promotions, fabulous. So how has, all of this, affected your approach to strategic planning?
Excellent question, and a topic always near and dear to my heart. So when I came in, even before I came in through the interview process, our board was generous enough to share the previous strategic plan with me. So when I looked at the strategic plan, I realized there was huge opportunity for growth. And when I started in March, the middle of March, we had already started working together to plan our May strategic planning retreat.
Mhm.
So while it was a little early in my tenure, I proposed to the board that I facilitate our strategic planning retreat, which my board very generously allowed me to do. So this really allowed me to accelerate our alignment, some of our learning together, and also
Mhm.
future aligning how we do strategic planning and also our strategic plan framework. So we've really moved Security Plus from what I would consider a very traditional, lengthy strategic plan document that
Mhm.
we all know can often be that book on a shelf that we look at right before the quarterly updates, are due. So we moved from that model to a one-page strategic plan. And the one-page strategic plan really centralizes all things about our strategy. And we're just getting ready to implement a new 5-year plan, 2023 to 2027. Strategic scorecard. We have 3 strategic goals, 9 strategic initiatives
Mhm.
with coordinating KPIs. So what we were really able to do was align as a board and CEO, align as a board and management team, but
Mhm.
this document also becomes really our document that gets our employees excited. And we have strategic clarification at every level of our vision for the future and
Right.
how we're going to get there.
Yep.
So in September, we're midway through September right now. We're just finalizing development of all of our KPIs and our metrics, and we're going to implement this starting in 2023. And we've already started to socialize this with our employees, and it's been received, so well because we're being very transparent and
Mhm.
clear. Because obviously, all the things I've talked about, there's a tremendous amount of change that's going on at Security Plus. And a big part of whether we're successful in implementing this change or not successful is how excited we get our employees about the future. So we're being very clear, communicative, and transparent in how we communicate with our staff as well.
Great, great. Thank you, Tricia. You know, as you're doing quite a lot. As a new president and CEO, you're proactively working to gain alignment throughout the organization, build a leadership team, build leadership throughout your organization, and expand everyone's understanding and engagement for the strategic plan that's coming up. So congratulations. That's you've taken on a lot already.
Thank you so much, Larry. I really appreciate that. And I always say, with great challenge comes great opportunity. And I feel like, we're really seizing the moment here at Security Plus. And I'm really thrilled to share my experience with everyone.
Great, thanks. Thank you. So in closing, thank you for joining Credit Union Digest. If you have additional questions for Tricia, please see the link in her bio.